Hey guys, what's up? I'm Alison. If you guys are new here, don't forget to click the subscribe button down below and also click the ring button so you get a notification whenever I upload a new video on my channel. Especially you guys like foundation review, I'll be doing those on my channel. So for today's video, we're trying out another new foundation from Nars, and this is their new launch foundation. I'm really excited to try this foundation. If you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know I've been loving a lot of Nars foundation. This is the Natural Radiant Longwear foundation. I've been raving about it on my channel, and also this foundation, I don't think I talk about it on my channel, but this is something that I use during the summertime. This is their Velvet Matte Skin Tint SPF 30, but this shade is pretty tan for my shade right now. This is in the golden land, which is light 3. But again, very excited to try out this Nars foundation during the summertime. And if you guys are interested how this work on my oily texture and acne prone skin, then let's keep on watching. Okay, so I did purchase mine on Sephora.com, and they launched on September 1st when I purchased it. So this is a Nars Soft Matte Complete Foundation. So this foundation, it retails for $40 on Sephora.com, and it comes in 1.5 fluid ounce. And this foundation also comes in 34 shade range. So let's get into details and see what this foundation claims to be. So this is a 16-hour oxidation resistant foundation that balances oil while maintaining a hydrated skin-like finish. Okay, so let's get into details of this foundation and see what it claims to be. So this is a full coverage, matte finish, and liquid formula. It's good for normal, dry combination, and oily skin. It's a highlighted ingredient which is microalgae and biohyaluronic acid to help absorb excess sebum. This is a Discover Comfortable 16-hour wear foundation, oxidation resistant, transfer resistant, sweat proof. And also this is a microalgae and biohyaluronic acid balance excess sebum while keeping skin hydrated and help protect skin from pollution and blue light damage. Unique oil absorbing powders create a smooth second skin finish. So I'm very excited to try this out because first of all, it says 16 hours wear. I'm not going to wear my foundation for 16 hours to be honest. And also oxidation resistance and also transfer resistant, sweat proof. That is a really good claim for this summertime foundation. So the shade that I pick up is light 3.5 for light skin with neutral undertone, and this is in the shade called Salzburg. So now let's get into the packaging of this foundation. Okay, let's get into the foundation bottle review. This is what the new foundation looks like with Nars. It comes with a soft matte touch finish of a cap, and it is very timeless, simple looking. Okay, I'm gonna go with my BECCA Under Eye Brightener to color correct my dark circles. And for primer today, I'm going with this Sisley Instant and Long Term Primer. So it does comes out very nicely, and you guys can see the texture is pretty liquidy. So on the Sephora website, it suggests to use dapping motion with the fingers. So I'm gonna try how it looks with the dapping motion, and then we're gonna go on with sponge if we don't like that. Okay, I'm just gonna start this side on my face. Okay, so it wasn't focusing earlier, but you guys can see I slowly dab it into my skin, and it blends very nicely. It's easy to blend with fingers. With dapping motion, I wouldn't swipe motion on the face because it would just ruin the base layer of my primer moving around. Okay, you guys can see it does cover up very nicely, and it does give me coverage because the front part of my brow is pretty much covered with foundation with the coverage, and I do have microbladed brows. Okay, so actually it's not bad using a finger to dab this foundation into my skin. I feel like this foundation is sinking very nicely with my skin, and it doesn't feel like it's moving around while I'm dabbing into the skin with my fingers. And also usually with a lot of foundation, if I'm using my finger to apply it, it just show up a lot of like streak marks on the foundation. So I feel like dabbing motion, it definitely helps a lot. And also I feel like this foundation, it does blend in very nicely, like it dries down very natural looking. But I just want to quickly show you guys the coverage. This side of my face with the foundation on, and this on my face with my bare skin. I do have a lot of hyperpigmentation. Since last month I've been breaking really badly, but it calms down this month. I feel like there's not much difference on the coverage using a fingers and using an e.l.f. sponge. I feel like with the e.l.f. sponge, it still gives me a very nice, like my skin with better finish, and this side of my face, it still gives me a very nice coverage. I don't see much of a difference comparing using a finger or using a sponge. But if you guys are someone who likes using your foundation with your fingers application, then I would just say this is like a very good foundation because it blends it very nicely. It doesn't create those streak marks, and also it just makes your face looks very natural looking. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get a little bit more on the coverage on my dark spot because I have a lot going on this side of my face. So I'm just gonna use my finger to blend it in first because of the warmth of my finger. It just blends it very naturally. Okay, I want to give you guys a close look of this foundation before I powder off with my translucent powder. So this is what it looks like on my face. It looks very natural finish. It dries down like a soft matte finish. It's not very cakey, but at the same time it dries down very like nicely. It doesn't have like tackiness of a feeling. It feels very lightweight on my skin. So I'm really liking like the coverage that it provides me. It gives me a very nice medium coverage, and at the same time it's buildable, and also it dries down very natural without a cakey look. So right now I'm liking the finish. I'm loving the coverage that it gives me and also how natural it looks. So I'm gonna go in and do the rest of my makeup and I'll check back with you guys. Okay guys, so let's do a final check-in. Now the time is 7 p.m. which means I've been wearing this foundation for about 5 hours mark since I first applied this foundation at 1:50 p.m. So first of all, I want to point out this weekend is going to be super hot. It's going to be heat wave. So today it's already 93 degrees and I bet tomorrow it's going to be hotter. Tomorrow it's going to be 102 for the hottest. So it's gonna be crazy hot, and it was super hot outside and I've been outdoors for about half of the day. I've been wearing my face mask for half of the day, so it has been really hot. And actually I was pretty surprised how this foundation worked because of how hot it is today, and I was wearing a face mask, and from the far distance it looks very nice. It looks like a very dewy kind of foundation. It doesn't get me super oily within this 5 hours mark. Like within this 5 hours mark, I feel like the oils come through. It just like my normal 2 to 3 hours mark. It's not super oily. It doesn't feel like I have to blot it right away, and I feel heavy, like oily on the skin. It feels very normal on the skin, and in fact it looks very like natural on my skin, but better, kind of dewy finish. Okay, now we're gonna get close and get personal. Okay, so here close up you guys can see the tip of my nose. The foundation is completely off because I was wearing a face mask and it was really hot today. And then around my nose area you guys can see this part, the foundation was taken off easily. And also the foundation on the chin area, you guys can see it doesn't stay very nice. It kind of break apart, but yet it's not completely off. It's still on my face with the foundation, but it just doesn't look as smooth. So you guys can see it still looks like foundation on the skin, but not as like natural finish as the cheek area. I was pretty surprised on the cheek area because my face mask usually cover the half part of my face. So within those 5 hours mark, there's 3 hours that I was wearing a face mask, and another 2 hours I was working in the heat. I was tidying up my garage, so I was constantly sweating, but still the foundation looks nice. It's just that the lower part of the body have friction with the face mask. So I want to give it a second try. I'm gonna wear this again tomorrow. I don't think I will be going outdoor tomorrow, so I will try it out without wearing a face mask to see how this would looks. Is it still gonna be a little cakey on the chin area, or it's just because the face mask? Okay guys, so the makeup is on. So hopefully this foundation it will stay put onto the face without wearing a face mask, because yesterday I was wearing a face mask and it kind of ruined the tips of my nose. And to see if this would stay put better, and I want to see how this would react with my oily skin and with this heat. And I'm not going to step my foot out to the door today because it's really hot out there. It's heat wave. It's 102 degrees out there, and I went to walk my dogs for about 5 minutes and I was sweating. So I'm not gonna step my foot out the door. I'm just gonna stay indoor in my house. So I want to test out to see how this foundation holds up. So I'm gonna give you guys a check in later on in another few hours mark, or I will check back in with you guys at the end of the day to see how this foundation works. Okay guys, final check in. Now the time is 10:47, which means I've been wearing this foundation for about 7 hours. The last check-in I did on application was at 3 o'clock, so now this is the foundation that has been staying on my skin for about 7 hours, and this is what it looks like. So within this 7 hours, I haven't blocked my face, and I didn't touch my face at all. So it kind of gets to the point that it looks pretty oily, and it started to get a little cakey around my brows area, but on the lower part of my chin you guys can see it is breaking up and it's not staying well on top of the skin. And also this area, actually before I apply my translucent powder, it wasn't stay smoothly as what it compares to my forehead. So I would say this part is already something that, because I have textured skin and also I do have acne prone skin, and also because of the oiliness, I feel like the tips of my nose is slowly fading away and it doesn't stay as like smooth. And also I feel like this foundation, it does create those white bumps on my nose area. I actually noticed that from yesterday wearing this foundation, and today it just like comes out again and it did the same thing. So this foundation, I feel like the more I wear it, it would just create those white bumps or white heads on my nose area. Okay, so I really want to go back to all those claims on this foundation. So this is a foundation, it gives you a comfortable wear for 16 hours, and I normally don't wear foundation for more than 10 hours. And then moving on, oxidation resistant, and I have to agree that I don't see any oxidation on this foundation after blending into my skin, and also after putting on my full face makeup on, I don't see the color changes. And I have to say the light 3.5, it really matched with my skin tone, so this color is a perfect match, I would say. And then moving on, transfer resistant, I'm not sure transfer resistant because I feel like this foundation, it does transfer easily. Now let's test it out. So I do have a piece of paper, a piece of paper towel, and let's see. Ooh, actually it's not bad. Okay, let me see on this side, on the face, and this side. Okay, I would say it's not bad, but still, because my natural oils come through, and you guys can see the center part is where I have my forehead transfer over here, so there's not much. And on this side of my face, I did both cheek on the face, and it does comes off a very little, but also it could be the concealer as well. So I would say transfer resistant, it might get approval, but again, I'm testing it out with my natural oils come through. And moving on, sweat proof, I can't really say about sweat proof because I'm not going to like walk in the rain, or I'm not gonna wear my foundation while I'm working out. I normally like don't wear foundation if I work out because it just opens up my pores and then get the foundation in. It's just something that I don't prefer. And then moving on, this is a unique oil absorbing powders create a smooth second skin finish. So I do have to say this foundation, it gives me a very nice soft matte focus finish. It kind of blurs my pores at the same time, but at the same time it's not like full matte finish. It feels like a very like soft focus finish. So I'm actually liking the finish of this foundation like after for 4 hours wear, because that's like the freshest foundation on top of the skin. It's just the part that it doesn't look very nice on the chin area. It doesn't actually blend well on my lower chin part, so that's the only downside. Okay, so that's my final thoughts on this foundation, and overall I would give this a 7.5 out of 10 on this foundation because it does looks a little cakey around this corner on my nose area, and on my chin area it just looks like I have foundation on top and it doesn't blend well. So this is the only downside, but other than that, this foundation, it does look very natural, like soft focus matte finish as what the name is claims to be. And also the only downside is it doesn't wear very nicely for my oily skin type because it does get a little oily. So it's just not like a perfect foundation, but it would be a foundation that I would love to wear for about a few hours more and then go home and take this foundation off. So that is just my opinions on how it works on my skin tone. Like everyone's skin is different, but I do love the experience of this foundation. I love the finish of it, and it's just something that it won't be a long wear foundation for my oily skin type, and especially with textured skin. So I hope this foundation does help you guys out if you guys are considering to purchase this foundation. I do think this foundation, it is worth to try to see if it matches with the skin tone. So I hope you guys enjoy watching this video, and if there's any foundation review you guys want me to review, leave a comment down below. I'll check that out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Yeah.
I was finna write a song, but how I been hella stressed. But I looked in your eyes and noticed I'm hella blessed. Staring at you on this airplane.